Okay, that was actually as late as 1950s, but from my research, that went back thousands of years. They would have upper stashes, like they kind of turned up, because they probably were so depressed they were living in Afghanistan that they wore fancy little capes and tried to make their mustache look like smiles. Here's a Hungarian Hussar circa 1550. Look at that guy. Strong horse, strong mustache, giant staff. You know, a lot of plumage on his helmet. Like, plumage on the helmet is a real ballsy move. It's like, plumage on the helmet is like, listen, I want you to know where I am, and I'll still kill you. Like, if you're wearing plumage on a helmet in a war, you're literally saying, like, look at me, I dare you. Legendary mustache. So, talk about that area. You got to talk about Vlad. Vlad Tepes, Vlad the Impaler, the hero of Transylvania. When the Muzzies were attacking, and they were relentless from Turkey, there's only one man who could stop them, and that was Vlad the Impaler. Him and his mustache took the heads of all the men trying to rape their women, and he put them on spikes. His rule was so mustache heavy. His rule was so mustache heavy that he could leave a golden goblet in the center of town and no one would drink out of it or touch it. Like, people would be starving, begging right next to it. No one would touch it. They're like, why? No one's even around. They're like, oh, someone's around. And it was a guy with a mustache. This is how powerful Vlad the Impaler's mustache is. When Bram Stoker did Dracula, look at how much he was dying to have a mustache. Like, you can tell he manicures the stash area. You see that? Everyone sees that, right? Bram Stoker manicured his stash area, but he knew so much about Vlad that he was like, I have to just have facial hair because I'm not ready. I'm not ready. That's Bram Stoker. That's a powerful man. That's a known man. You know? A man that understood violence, but at the same time, he knew he couldn't have his own stash. Now we have what I call the Chaplin. And Charlie Chaplin was a really good comedian. He was, he'd like do really good physical comedy, and he developed this stash that was just kind of small. Like, he was it showed that he had such control. You know, so much control, where he was like, listen, everybody's having these mustaches, but, and then the stash was perfected by my hero, Adolf Hitler. So, Charlie Chaplin started the mustache that Adolf Hitler took. Hang on, if Owen offers you guys cool, all right, ban. Yeah, we're gonna do members only stuff in the future, because there's people that literally have told me since we've been doing this that they're like, yo man, I love your streams, but your chat is, I can't even read it. It's just full of such psychos. Yeah, it's members only. And if anyone, guys, I'm losing money on it because people that would donate, there's people that would be like, $5 a month. Like, there's people that would give me like $50, and now they're like pissed. Like, I'm $5 a month. If you break it down like per day, it's not like a win for me. It's a way of weeding people out. No, dude, fuck you guys. Right now there's only 4,700 people. Usually there's over 6,000. Like, I'm fine with weeding people down. Like, this isn't for everybody. And the recent drama and stuff, it's like, it's so fucking gross, and we will survive. We will. This is not a mass audience stream. This isn't. I talk about some uncomfortable shit. I'm not going to be the bitch of the flat earth. I'm not going to be the bitch of, like, whatever the fucking thing is that week. I get curious, and then people come, and they're like, oh, you're one of our guys. I'm like, right now, yeah, but it's like, oh, are you going to talk about flat earth? It's like, not tonight. And then they're like, oh, he's a sellout. Probably shill. NASA shill. Like, get the fuck out. Tonight we talk about the history of mustaches. It's still a huge fucking stream. It's fine. Even if it was literally, I'm not kidding, I'd rather have 500 people watching and them not be cunts. Because, like, there's something about the spotlight. There's something about people that draw human beings to watch them that make a certain type of person become psychotic. And the threats and the grossness and all this shit. It's like, it's tough to watch my friends go through it. Because I'm, like, pretty hardened to it because I have a mustache. But literally, there's people that are like, yo, dude, I do a sketch with you. I'm like, don't. I don't want anyone to, like, hurt because of the people that, and there's like 10 total of them, but they, like, oddly are effective, just like the communists. It's weird. Because as much as I say, like, block them, never reference them. Other people do. Other people I care about. And then they're like, oh, well, this person just threatened your family. I'm like, now I got to fucking talk about it. It's just bullshit. So get them the fuck out. Ban Bigelow. All right, where were we? Yeah, members only. Some people here do not get it. Yeah, good. Fuck them. Fuck them. Start flowing energy towards the reality you want. Well, that sounds a little gay. There is no reality I want. Man, people are so centered on on themselves. They're just like, what do you want? You can get if you focus your energy. What the fuck do I matter? I don't matter. The fuck out of here. So anyway, Hitler's stash was strong. Yeah, it's a little bit of a dark time in the empire, but this is what happens sometimes. Deal with it. Families fight. Live streams go through dark times. This is a dark time. Teddy Roosevelt had a very strong stash. He was a little man. He was only about a foot taller than Joe Rogan, but he was a man of action. And he got himself carved into that fucking mountain. I can't even remember the name of it because it's kind of retarded. Oh, Rushmore. And it wasn't because of his height. It wasn't because of anything he did. It was because of one thing. The man had a very thick mustache. That guy did not do good things for the mustache. That's Joseph Stalin. But I will say this. If someone's like, hey, if someone kills 60 million people, do you think he does or does not have a mustache? I would say, that's a guy with a mustache. I don't agree with anything he did, but this is Mark Twain with a mustache. Young, handsome. Hadn't tried to stay a comedian for 40 years. This is Mark Twain after realizing that if you're going to write really good satire for decades, you lose your fucking mind. You wear a white suit and your hair's all fucked up. But what does he do? What did Twain do? He kept his mustache. Because the whole time, no matter what happened, he had that stash. And that stash told people like, hey man, yeah, you can swarm shame me. You don't think Mark Twain got swarm shamed? He was kicked out of cities. That's the thing. It's like, this shit happens all the time to people. It's like people just fucking come at people that are hilarious. Mark Twain used to be like, he fucked with the whole world once and published a book as a joke to see how people would react. Because he was so sick of the bullshit. Want to know what he was not sick of? His stash. When non-whites had mustaches around this era, it usually showed sexual deviancy. Here is Mahatma Gandhi, Mohandas K. Gandhi, lawyer, like legitimate racist, maniac, pedophile, openly told people he slept with his child nieces to show himself sexual control. So he was just a humiliation for the mustache. Another non-white pervert, Martin Luther King Jr., that's the mustache that blacks wear when they say, hey, there might be something I'm into. That's what it is. That's what that says. Because it's not like it's very controlled. It looks like it's in a closet, doesn't it? But at that time, the whites still had strong stashes. And if you go back to the history of the mustache, we're talking about men who served their nation, their families, their communities. They would have medals on their jackets in blood, and people would welcome them home with open arms. And their mustaches were absurdly huge. Like, that dude's mustache literally says, "If you talk shit, I will ban you with my gun." That guy understood bannings. Banning. I will ban you. How? With my gun. Look at this guy. You gonna fuck with that guy? That guy's mustache is, you could swing, like Joe Rogan could swing on it like a child. That guy looks at you and says, "Say what you said again. Say what you said again one more time." This mustache shows that not only am I a man of testosterone in action, but I'm a man who's very, very careful with his razor. Look at that guy. I don't know who he is, but he's covered in medals. Covered in medals. That guy has been to war and led men into slaughters. And he had such a long mustache that he started becoming artistic with it. And he used mustache wax, and he pointed it up, basically shouting out God. "What up, God?" And then his other side of his mustache, "What up, God? Point at you. Point at you. What up?" Imagine the terror if you face that guy in war. Is that real, says someone? Of course it's real. It's more real than anything you've ever seen or lived in your entire life. Now let me show you a man who took a stand against mustaches. It's one thing if you don't have a mustache. It's another thing if you simply have a beard. But this motherfucker, Abraham Lincoln, grew everything except one area. His upper lip. Why did he do that? He wanted to tell the world, "Hey world, guess what I'm up to? I'm about to start a war that kills 5% of America." And they're like, "Well, where's his mustache?" There's no way that guy has a mustache. Not only does he not have a mustache, this piece of shit has all the hair except a mustache. No one should have trusted him. This is when the mustache perversion reached the whites. Burt Reynolds, a lot of you guys are thinking, "Oh, manly man, masculine man." No, he was a philanderer. His mustache and his flowery cowboy outfit and his movies and television career, that mustache was a parody of what a man was. He was like doing Playgirl and shit, taking off his shirt, making women all horny and gaze. That mustache was like, "Oh, look how masculine he is." No, that was a perversion. And that is when the mustache perversion jumped from Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. over to the white population of Burt Reynolds. Oh, when did the mustache corrupt itself? When it came to warriors. That's Hulk Hogan. Oh, big, tough, strong Hulk Hogan. It was all fake. He wasn't a real wrestler. He wasn't a real soldier. He wasn't like this fucking guy over here. Look at that guy. Look at that. That's a mockery. Hulk Hogan took a... There were Hulk Hogans before Hulk Hogan that didn't want to prance around in their fucking underpants, taking steroids, and letting a bunch of promoters grease them up so that they could fake fight. And a bunch of little kids would be like, "Oh, that's what masculinity is." No, that's mocking the stash. No offense to Hulk Hogan. Good wrestler. But I'm not talking about people right now, guys. I'm talking about the history of one very important thing. It's the mustache. Now, why don't you ask yourself right now, who is the worst person for the mustache in history of all time? Comment. Let me know what you think. Who do you think destroyed the stache? Destroyed the stache forever. And what ethnicity do you think he was? Just guess. Just take a guess. Who ruined it? Tom Selleck? Nope. Not Hitler? Nope. Not Beatles? Nope. Nope. Who was the one man that did the worst thing imaginable to the mustache? Everywhere I walk, I get the same thing. Everyone looks at me and says, hey,